Holy moly. Greetings, freaks and folks, this is Vlad. We got a new champion. What the actual hell? It's Viego, the Ruined King. So Viego, I hope to pronounce it right, was hitting today. It was out of the blue. I thought they would just release some cards like they did in the KDA event. And I will talk about the other cards as well. I was planning to do this today anyways, but in exchange I got a champion react. So I invite you to stay for the other cards as well to talk about them, but we will actually dive right into the trailer right there. It was released half an hour ago. So let's actually do this. By the way, Viego, I have no clue what he does. I just know he is from Shadow Isles, and also having the V in the name and being an undead dude has so much sympathy already. I haven't played them in League because I wasn't playing when he was released, but I'm extremely excited because Shadow Isles is close to my favorite region as well. And with that out of the way, let's actually start. Let's go.
She waits for me beyond the mist, my queen.
Already love the voice.
The whole world.
Okay, it's a 5-mana champion. Viego as fearsome, as every Shadow Isles unit should. It's a 5/4 body, and it says each round, the first time an ally dies, summon an encroaching mist. I don't think we know what it is yet. And level up is I have seen allies with 20 plus total power die. Whoa! Trifarian Glory Seeker is the first thing that comes to mind. 2 mana, 5 attack body. With 1 HP that actually wants to die because you're normally trading into something, right? You're challenging something away. So you have 1/4 of his level up already with this unit alone. So I think it's quite easy to do in the right deck with Viego. And I love the fact that he is more versatile than the Lurk champions are actually. So I think you can include him in almost any deck in any region. But let's see on what he does here.
Will know my anguish.
Oh, new units as well. Wait, is power attack or is it HP? Maybe I was having a brain fart there. So an encroaching mist is actually a 1/1 ephemeral. It says when I'm summoned, grant all allied and other everywhere +1/+1. I think there's something missing on the card there, right? Or I have a brain fart here. When I'm summoned, grant all allied, I think, encroaching mists and other encroaching mists everywhere +1/+1 is my best guess what this does. So technically it should become thicker with the next ones.
Learn to fear a dragon's rage.
Oh, Shyvana with the new skin.
You'll pay for this!
You'll pay for this! Thematic evolution, of course. Yeah, that's a new dragon. We'll talk about them in a second.
The dark beckons.
Ooh. Yeah, okay, so I think it's that. It's just that it empowers the next encroaching... What was the name? I forgot. The other encroaching one once. So, okay, we got the next card. It's main deckable. It's Despair. I love the name already, with Viego in the artwork, as well as the hands from the Ruination. And for 4 mana slow speed, it says pick a unit to strike your nexus, then kill it. Wait, what? A unit to strike your... Okay, a unit, so you can play this in everything. Ooh, that's pretty big. Like combine this with Frostbites, for example. Yet again, with high... What is it, power? I have to go back and look for that. But if it's like that, you could build with Ash, for example, with high power units, 5 HP, 5 attack units, in the Trifarian thingy. Or no, you couldn't. You need Shadow Isles, Noxus, and... Okay, but anyways, you could combine it with Frostbite at least. And then you could kill something that then strikes your Nexus for 0 and then just dies. But at slow speed, it's slightly worse than other removals like Vengeance, for example. Like the reason why Vengeance is so extremely good is because it's fast speed, right? And this is slow speed, close to the other 5 mana removal where you kill some of your own units as well. I forgot the name, but I have it here. Yeah, but pretty good card overall, I have to say. And yet again, more hard removal for Shadow Isles. Alright,
Witness
interesting.
my true power.
So he places on his own units to level up the Shyvana.
You will serve.
But shouldn't then the other unit die? Or did it die and just wasn't showed in the video?
Oppose me and die.
Many questions here. Okay, let's see the level up.
Burn away the shadows.
But now he rallies.
All will be consumed by the black mist.
Whoa! Alright, Viego. It's a 5-mana 6/5 now. And it says each round the first time a unit dies, summon an encroaching mist. So it's, I think it stays the same that it was. And round starts, steal the strongest enemy this round. If it's a champion, kill it instead. What? Holy moly. It's extremely strong. But you have to save this dude to keep him as an engine. But being an engine at 5 mana, like we saw other champions struggling with that, like Heimerdinger, for example, seeing play and being viable, as well as Kindred has the same problem. I think Kindred is also 5 mana from Shadow Isles and also an engine from that point onwards. And they haven't made it into the meta easily. Let's go with that. And yeah, him having this only fearsome keyword could be hard to include him in any very viable meta deck, is my first impression here. But this is sick, man. Steal the strongest enemy unit, and if it's a champion, just kill it. Crazy shit. Like with all those self-suiciding things and sacrificing that Shadow Isles has, this is just brilliant. You steal the enemy units, then you attack with it, and afterwards you kill it like you would do with Possession, for example. And I also love this card, Possession. So I will most definitely build with this dude. You can bet your ass. I love the theme. It's so doomful.
So little.
Just sacrifice your Shyvana.
Join the rest.
Oh boy. Just killed. Oh, and he summons...
Can be reforged.
So every time a unit dies, not only yours. Maybe I read that wrong. Oh boy. I love that dude. I love his appearance, I love his voice. Also this thick-ass sword that he has. Jesus Christ. But let's go back for a second here and actually check each round. The first time a unit dies. Okay, so it's actually... You can kill an opponent, or you can sacrifice your own units to trigger the encroaching mist, and it gets bigger and bigger. So it's sort of an undying, that it's sort of connected to the Viego that can actually block. So if you manage to kill a unit before the enemy attacks, or even if you open attacks and you burst speed kill something, even then you can get this encroaching mist, and thus blocking with something for free, right? Because it's a thermal unit there. Let's go back for a second to the actual card here. Each round the first time an ally dies. Okay, so this is a difference I haven't spotted in the first place. It's normally you kill an ally, so you have to sacrifice something to spawn these encroaching mists. And if he's leveled, from that point onwards, he will actually get you encroaching mists also if you kill enemies. So even if this triggers here, the round starts, you steal the strongest unit. If it's a champion, you just kill it and then you get encroaching mist right away. It's what we saw here in the video where he was killing this Lucian and spawning him this unit, getting bigger and bigger. Oh, sick animation. I think this is a new Riven skin as well, probably, and also a new card pack. Also a new board. Like, what the hell? Okay, I guess there's a lot to come, guys, in the future. We will jump into the cards right now. So we are back here at the cards. By the way, I've posted a meme here in Twitter, so if you don't follow me on Twitter already, you should consider doing that. And we will jump into the cards right here. Our boy Cosmic put them together like he always does and always did for us. It's the hero we deserve, or something. Dark Knight things. Yeah, so we go from left to right. We start with the Ruin Rex. It's a 5-mana 3/3. And it says, but goes on a stack, play effect, cast Cannon Barrage on randomly target enemies for each card you have drawn this round up to 5 times. In case you don't know, Cannon Barrage is the thing that the Reptile Rex does, so this is the Rune version of him, costing 3 mana less. But in exchange, you just get the amount of Cannon Barrages for how many cards you draw. So you can do this up to 5 times. It's a pretty niche card, I would say, to a degree where you need a lot of card draw to actually trigger this to an extent where it makes sense to play him, right? Because he is quite underwhelming for 5 mana 3/3 without any keywords, but he himself is minimum 1 Cannon Barrage, so minimum 2 damage to a random enemy is triggered because you always draw 1 card at the beginning of the round, and if you draw 4 more, then you get more Cannon Barrages. Like I said, pretty niche card, but I love the art style for sure, and I will experiment with him, but I see him a bit weak for what he does. Then we have 6 mana 5/5 Rimfang Den Mother. It says, when I'm summoned, summon a Rimfang pack. Granted +1/+1 for each time you have frostbitten enemies this game. And Rimfang pack is the card next to it, is a 1 mana 1/1 with Overwhelm. So every time you pump it up, you frostbite something during the game, you pump this Rimfang pack up that has Overwhelm. And I see this being a really, really decent card at 6 mana, like with all these wolf pack thingies, cards. Rimfang Wolf is, I think, the name of the other card that kills something if it's frostbitten. Together with Ash, you can curve this out pretty well. If you have 3 mana this wolf, then you have on 4 mana the Ash, and on 6 mana this dude, or this Den Mother. Dudine? Is it? What's the female form of dude? I don't know. But this one. And I see this pretty strong, as you can spread out pretty wide, and also having 5 attack is huge, together with the Trifarian Assessor. In Ash decks, you remember drawing cards, frostbites and stuff. Profit. I see this being a extremely decent card, and could see play definitely in Ash decks. And then we have the Thrumming Swarm, a 7 mana 8/4 with Overwhelm. And it says, when I'm summoned, create a copy of me in hand if you have leveled a champion this game. Now, I see this being bad. I gotta be honest, only having 4 HP is pretty weak for 7 mana. The attack stats with Overwhelm is extremely good, I have to go with that. But you can just also play other cards that have Overwhelm and have this similar stat line for the cost. So for example, the Rune Runner has 6 attack on Overwhelm and a Spell Shield for 5 mana. And I don't know if this, when I'm summoned, create a copy of me in hand is really necessary. I mean, you make sure you don't run out of steam, that's for sure. With this Swarm, you just spawn this on and on again if you have leveled a champion, what you should actually have at turn 7. Normally you do have this. So maybe it sees some niche play in Overwhelm decks. I could be wrong. Maybe this is a staple in Overwhelm decks and you will include this every time. Because like I said, you don't run out of steam with this card. You make sure to do that because it's a summon effect. No, the enemy can't counter with it. We can't deal with it. So at the point where you have this and you have a little champion, you just play this on and on again. And you swarm. It doesn't fit to this theme, so you don't swarm on the board, but you play the swarm, I guess, and then you attack again with this thick-ass buck. So, yeah, if I would rate this definitely less than the Rimfang Mother, I think this is the best card from these, and Ruin decks also seeing niche play probably. And then we hop over to the Dragon cards. We start from the left again with a 2 mana 3/2 body, and it's the Crawling Viper Worm Fury. So what's really nice here, we have Shadow Isles Dragons. Finally, we can get out of Targon with Dragon Archetype, is what I love a lot, that they spread on the regions with the archetypes. And it says, play Ice Strike an ally or deal 3 to your Nexus. And I love that it's versatile in a sense, so you can deal damage to yourself if you don't have the means to kill something or to strike an ally on your board. But other than that, this is extremely sweet. Like if you combine it with Dragon Chow, I don't know how the interaction is. This is my question here. If you strike it, will it trigger the play effect from the Crawling Viper Worm first, or will it trigger the effect from the Dragon Chow first? So my question is, do you draw from this? Is the big question. If you do, this is a broken combo. You play Dragon Chow on 1, you play this on 2, you draw the card right away, and you have a 4/3 with Fury on turn 2. It's just, it hits. And other than that, I see this being very good with Shyvana, as she needs to see dragons to strike something, and there you can strike something pre-combat and just strike one of your own allies. Being extremely nuts here. Then we have the Ruined Dragon Guard, and I love the theme of him. And if you see the full art, he rides on a dragon. This is just the tits, this artwork. And it's a 3 mana 2/4. And it says, when an ally with Fury kills a unit, granted additional +1/+1. So this is sort of the blacksmith for elites, is what he is for dragons, where you just pump +2/+2 this time if you get to use the Fury keyword, is what you get to use a lot in example for the Screeching Dragon. If you challenge something with that, you almost always trigger his Fury effect because you challenge something weak, and thus getting the +2/+2. So I don't know how good he is, because he is pretty weak on attack stats, but he is a solid blocker for the early stages, because it's a 3 mana play as well. This is also really important to notice, that from normally 4 mana onwards you get to play dragons. By the way, also the Crawling Viper Worm is the first dragon that is below 4 mana. So I see the dragon archetype be exploding in the meta. We saw this even with Targon and with Demacia. And now that we have the option to go with Shadow Arts as well, we'll just, yeah. I think even I will love dragons from that point onwards. And there was somebody in the comments some videos ago who asked for a dragon deck. I hope I can do your bidding now with these cards. And then we have a 4 mana 4/3 that is the Cameron Dragon. It has Fury and Fearsome, and it says play, I strike an ally or deal 3 to your nexus, so the same effect like the Crawling Viper Worm has. And it says on when I slay a unit, drain 1 from the enemy nexus. So this is the absolute nuts, where you have a draining engine, like not dying in the process. Healing yourself is what you need when you get out of Targon, and you enter Shadow Isles. You need another way to heal up, because most of the time you take damage early on and you need to heal up with the Dragon archetype. And with this card you are absolutely down for that, and you can then, yeah, yet again kill a Dragon Show. Again, the question, does it do your card draw or does it not? But even if it doesn't, I think Dragon Show is still a viable card in this kind of deck, because even just slaying a unit and draining one from the enemy nexus and getting the Fury off from this unit is already worth it to my mind. And last but not least, we have the Cadrigan, the Ruined. Again, going down 3 mana, so I guess if you are Ruined, you get to pay it less, is the lesson for today. And yeah, it's Fury as always, 6x body, so pretty solid for what you pay. And it says grant an allied champion or dragon challenger. And this could definitely come into play. Like, we saw the power of Screeching Dragon having challenger and the Fury keyword combined. And if you take into account that you have the Ruined Dragon God, and then you give something, you grant something challenger, and thus every time you challenge something, you get the +2/+2 extra, will just pump up your units and your board control to an extent where it could be really scary. And I will most definitely build with Cadrigan the Ruined as well. Alright, and that wraps up all the cards for today. Thank you guys for sticking around. I am very sorry for the guys who actually want to see gameplay today. I will meet your expectations on the Thursday, where I will actually get a new deck, so be excited for that. And until that point, you stay legendary. Let out.
Come on,